So I would like to introduce Dana York, who is going to be talking about a new sedge, Crags sedge. Let's hear it for Dana.
Thank you. Uh-oh, that's not the clicker I was told works. Where's the good one? Oh, now you heard this is a good one. Okay, we'll see. All right. Well, hi everybody. Wow, lots of people have stayed around. The last time I did this, it was at 4 o'clock on the second day, and there was 10 people. Anyway, it was still memorable because it really didn't go how it was supposed to. So we're going to see how this works with the clicker that works, which is not the one. Okay. All right. So I could have added to this title that it's Crags sedge, a rare plant hiding in plain sight, and one that you can find. You know, the rare plant or the new plant that you can find. Even you could find this. And it's a sedge. Wow. Pretty cool. Is that a real word? Caracologist? Is that really a real word? In the poster upstairs, this is for Marin County, it says caracologist. So how many think you're a caracologist out there or feel that you're, and I know one that's definitely going to raise their hand. Raise your hand if you think you're a caracologist. All right. Okay, well this is a talk for everybody else. Because you don't have to be a caracologist to appreciate this sedge. This sedge is really, really fun. And we haven't seen a picture of it yet, but you just have to trust me. It's really a cool sedge. I think Gordon Leppick's going to be teaching Crags actually pretty soon up there in our area of California from Arcata. And it's really nice to have Arcata weather, follow me. That's great. We've used the rain all over the state, so I should just plan to go all over the state so we can get some wet weather in all these places that are hit by drought. But so he's going to be teaching that workshop, so that's a great workshop for folks to take if you're able to do that over there in Arcata. So with that, I'm going to start, because I'll probably run over time. Okay, Crags is actually kind of a conglomerate of different areas. It's a state park down at the lowest. And you know what? A lot of people have been using the pointer, and I haven't seen that. Can people actually see that green light on the screen? Because I've been seeing people do this the whole time, and I haven't seen anything up there. But okay, oops. Okay, this thing's already. Oh, it's working. Okay, Crags is a state park down the bottom. Most people know this area. Most people have come up this way and see it from I-5. Dunsmuir is just up here. Well, there's Dunsmuir. You can see Dunsmuir. And then part of it's wilderness area and the Shasta Trinity National Forest. So a lot of people probably aren't aware that a lot of it's wilderness, the back part of it. And I'll be showing you slides of what the back part looks like. And it goes all the way up to over 6,000 feet. And that's here. And I'll show you some slides of that area too. Okay, this is what the formation, the outcrop looks like. It's granodiorite. It's granitic, let's just call it granitic. And normally I do a lot of limestone work, and people have been on some of my workshops on limestone, and I'm really known as a limestone cowboy. But in this case, granitic cowboy will have to work. That doesn't sound like something you put in a song. Okay, Crags Wilderness, there we go. That's Castle Dome up there. Really pretty. If you haven't been there, it's really, you got to go now, and you got to go see the sedge. And the reason in 2013, that picture's from 2013, even though I had been there before, Reed Whittlesey, in the background there, Reed, I think he's in Montana now, but he was a senior with a project at Humboldt State that asked me to come along with him and identify the plants that he was seeing up there, and he's a really good rock climber. But Reed wanted to take me up this. It's like, okay, I've been rock climbing a few years, Reed, but, I'll go with you and we'll see what we find up there. And this is the climb, going up. Okay. There's the rope. You see the rope? The one problem is, actually Reed is in that picture. That's Reed right up there. The one thing that Reed should understand is, I've been doing botany a long time, and I'm belaying him, I'm a safety line, but there's rare plants around me. If you haven't seen the movie Free Solo, with Alex Honnold. Go see that movie. The guy does this without a rope, and he goes up El Capitan in that movie. It's awesome. Well, Reed was going up with basically out a rope, and he didn't know it. We just didn't make a movie. All right, that's a nice Jeffrey pine hanging on there on the side of the cliff. Okay, where are my plants? And that's my foot down at the very bottom. That's my foot. And of course, my climbing shoes are like 40 years old, and he laughed. But hey, as long as they work. All right, here's what I was looking at. All right, so the Castle Crags harebell, awesome plant. It's all flower. I like these all flower plants because it's like in the desert. And I was in Death Valley for 5 years. And that's a lot of times what you see is all flowers and little foliage, because you just got to do your thing in these really harsh environments. All right, let's go on to the next one. Oh, more pictures of it. Can't have enough pictures of the harebell. And these are endemics. Okay. And the Icea that's up there, and this is both of them growing together. And then Loeb's buckwheat, not a rare plant, not endemic, but just really cool buckwheat hanging off of the edge. And if I can put in a buckwheat, I will. So I just showed you the sedge, by the way. I showed you the new species. Yeah, it's hiding in plain sight. So, there's probably been hundreds of botanists have gone up there to see those two species, those two endemics I just showed you. But the sedge was in those pictures, too. And I'll show you more about the sedge because that's what the talk's about. Star fleabane was up there. This is a disjunct of a rare plant that's up there. This is the northernmost population of this Richeron miser. It's a 1B3, CNPS-SCV. Okay, there it is. Carex yorkii. Yay, it gets my name. That's cool. I didn't name it for myself because you can't do that. But, all right, the history of how I figured out what it was, because and meanwhile, I'm finding this one belaying Reed, kind of belaying him, and I'm looking like, what is this sedge? And, I made a little collection of it. And there's Reed going, thank God I didn't fall, because that guy was doing something down there, which I was looking at all the plants. But Reed understood I was looking at the plants because he was doing botany work too. And that's just some of the views of the back part. The part people don't see. And the part where people go back there and they don't come back out. It's pretty hard. Just to get off of this climb, it's like, oh, that's great, we climbed it, now let's walk off. It's like, no. We don't walk off. That's Reed rappelling off of this thing. It's like, oh, okay. And another cool thing up there is brewer spruce, Picea brewiana. Very cool spruce. And this is for Michael Kaufman. Throw this in. Real pretty. And just almost, in some places, it's the dominant tree. Sperry's penstemon. This is really the first place where I saw a bunch of this. Now I see it all over in the Klamath ranges. But I didn't really understand why it didn't have those red fuchsia flowers. Because it's a different variety. And it doesn't have that color on that variety. And this is for Julie. Sedum kirstidi. But really it's named for her father. But she shares the name. Okay.
It's always a guys.
It's what? Okay. It's a really pretty sedum. All right. Okay, we'll move on. That's Shasta in the background, so you get nice views of Shasta up there. So anyway, I had this sedge. I couldn't figure out what the heck it was, and then I heard that Chico, right here, this university, was looking more into that group of sedges. And that group of sedges, what I figured out was Acrocystis. There's 6 species. These are little tables I made back in 2014. And the nice thing is, these little tables really help me get through the different sections of Carex. And with this, I can narrow it down. I could narrow it down to 6 species as soon as I figured out it was in this group, in this section. Because it has hairy perigynia, which is really great, but not hairy foliage. And so it really narrows it down to this group with having the short spikelets. And so it ended up being in this group, and then come to find out Chico was studying this group. I sent it to Chico, and it disappeared. And so I should go to that herbarium, tour later and see if I can find it, because it's been filed into obscurity somewhere. It disappeared. I don't know where it went to, but in this group you have these guys, and the closest thing I can figure it out was, it was like this Deflexa bodii, and the reason I thought it was more like that, because it has no basal spikes. All the other ones pretty much have basal spikes. And really common is Ross's sedge. It's very common. It wasn't Ross's sedge, I knew that. But anyway, this is the closest thing that it was supposed to be. Well, it's not that. That thing forms mats, the leaves are way different, so it definitely wasn't that. And then, of course, now it's gone, so that meant that I have to go back. And back I went. Back up, and this was 2 years later, I went back, 2015, I went back up the same trail there, I went back up, well, I didn't go back up the climb I went on, so I was hoping to find it somewhere else, because I didn't have a rope and I didn't have reed. And I found a whole bunch on these ledges. And I found a whole bunch of these guys again, the hairbow. And I got better pictures of the isia, because my last pictures were crappy because I was trying to belay reed while I was taking the pictures. And then I found a bunch of the sedge. There's clumps of the sedge in that picture. It's right there. And I think there's some there, but this one stands out more. It's hiding in plain sight again. There it is. It's not very tall. And it looks kind of like it's a juncus to some degree. But there you go. You can tell the difference. That is not a juncus. That is a cool sedge. All right. This year there's going to be a trip. And I showed at the end, there's going to be a Castle Crags trip. Castle Lake, coming from Castle Lake and going up into this area. That's Castle Lake. It's from Shasta over here. Very cool area, and I'll tell you more about that trip that's planned for this year. One of the things back there is beautiful fawn lily, Klamath fawn lily. It's a 2B2, and it was kind of on its way out when I saw these, but it was nice to have that. All right, the highest point in Castle Crags. This is coming in from the back side, from Castle Lake side. Highest point is this spire that goes over 6,000 feet. I actually got to the top of that thing. And it was a little scary. But I needed reed. Where was reed when I needed him? But more of the backside. So I found lots of the sedge all throughout this area. So it pretty much goes to 6,000 feet. And it almost goes to the bottom of the crags. So it's good to see. There was a much more brewer spruce, which is nice. And yeah, here it is. Now you get to see it with the anthers, and I think actually there's some stigmas in there. You can see that I watched for the pollinators to come, the pollinator to do its thing, which is called the wind. That's why all those things are sticking out like they are. But it's much better shape at the higher elevations, which is great. So I got to document more of it. Anyway, I eventually sent it to Barbara Erger, and she's here, I believe. Not Barbara Erger, sorry, Barbara Wilson. And she said, yeah, this thing's new, and so I got more collections. I got type collections, and then I saw more of the Origeron up there at the higher elevations, and there it is in flower. We've got shorthorn steer's head. There was a paper on this too, Zycentra passiflora. Really nice. And then I got to the very top. So it almost occurs to the very top along with those other things, but there's something else that occurs up there, and there's the very top. Why it gets a little scary when you're on the top. It's not very big up there. There's another sedge up there. It's multicolous. What's that? Oh. Okay, here's the other thing that I need help with. There is a polemonium up there. This is more than likely undescribed. If anybody's into polemoniums and wants to work on this with me, please come see me. Let's figure out what this is. I've already really looked at one of the big differences with the different polemoniums is the hairs, the trichomes. This thing's got different trichomes than the other pulcherrimums. It's a pulcherrimum, but where it is, it's not the Shasta one, the Shastinsi, and it's not just regular pulcherrimum. So I don't know what this thing is, but it's gorgeous. It is really cool. And there's a bunch of measurements of it. this thing, and it's almost at the very top. It doesn't occur anywhere else at Castle Crags. You have to be almost at the top there. It does fade to a blue, and it doesn't fade to black. I was thinking fade to black. Okay. Again, the sedge is in that picture. Okay. It's right at the bottom there. Right at the bottom. So don't get the granite blurs and miss those green little plants, those sedges. They can be really awesome, and they can be new species, and you too can find one. All right, I mentioned at Castle Crags there's going to be a workshop, a Jepson Herbarium workshop, and with Julie Nelson, and you go see her sedum. I'm sure you'll see it somewhere because she's going to Mount Eddy, and it's all over in that area, not just only on Castle Crags. And Heath Bartosh, which both are here. And so yeah, there's all the different things, and I don't know if it's sold out, but probably not sold out yet. But they're going to do it again. They got smoked out last year from doing that, so they're going to have that. And then I will have a Mount Eddy workshop, which is not Castle Crags, but mine's coming up on June 21st, and it's with the Siskiyou Field Institute, and Kathy's here over there with a booth. It's a very awesome trip. We stay at Flowing Waters Retreat. It really is a retreat there. They have a sauna, hot tub. What else they got? It's a beautiful place to stay, and it's real close to Mount Eddy, to the trailhead. And then my sincerest thanks to Reed Whittlesey. He is an awesome botanist climber dude. Julie, for all the help I've had with getting permits, and just her being Julie and doing awesome stuff. And Barbara Wilson, sorry, not Berger, even though I've worked with Barbara Berger on stuff. Barbara Wilson for checking it out and telling me. And Derek Poindexter is actually naming it, and named it for me. I didn't name it for myself. And he suggested give that name because that's the easiest way to go, because a lot of names have been used for carrot seeds. So just give it my name and then you're done. And plus it's for my dad too, in honor. That's kind of how I started too, because my dad really got me into the outdoors to begin with. And then I have a book, I guess, this thing. Yeah, and there's for sale over there, and I'll sign any if anybody wants to buy one. And that's it. Thank you.